Bearcat Bounce Podcast. Hey guys, we're back at it again. Sunday, that's right. Not Monday, but Sunday. Final show of 2025 Sunday. Basketball game on Monday night, Sunday, meaning Sunday is now BBP night with the boys -1 because that boy went and saw another boy, friend of the show, Sunday. Today, Sunday following Christmas, Santa Claus, Happy New Year coming in a few days away. Sunday before 2 basketball games, Sunday before 1 football game, bowl game, transfer portal, football opening. Monday is now Sunday for the BBP. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in everybody. I'm going to bring in who is assembled for the night. And without further ado, it's going to be Aaron Smith. It's going to be Chad Brendel. Gentlemen, how are we?
Good. Had a good Christmas. Things were good. Got a couple nice Christmas presents.
Okay.
From the kid and from the girlfriend. New dual zone air fryer.
Oh.
2 baskets.
Explain. I did see something like that on social media, I think. Yeah. Okay.
2 baskets, and you can sync them up to where they'll finish at the exact same time.
Wow.
And got a new knife set. The kitchen knives were a wedding present to Kelly and I in 2007.
How were they holding up?
They were still decent, but I was in need of a new knife set. So
Fair.
New knife set for Christmas. So those were the headliners.
Okay.
So good Christmas at the Brendel household. Navigated all 7 Christmas events.
Yeah, how was the travel?
With aplomb.
Yeah.
We handled it. We made it work. Got it done.
Cool.
You know,
Cool.
it wasn't ideal.
Right.
But you know, we got to all 7 stops. Everybody was happy. Christmas went good. The beef tenderloin.
Oh yeah.
Went well.
Okay.
Christmas dinners. It's a little on the rare side. Probably needed an extra 15-20 minutes to get to that perfect medium rare, but it was still good. Everybody ate. I mean, there was 9 pounds of it. I'd say 8.5 pounds of it was consumed.
Wow. So let the stomach do the talking. I think they finished it up. So that was your main part? You were the tender beef man?
The beef tenderloin was my
So you're going to be a harsh critic, of course.
Of course. Yeah. But it did the trick. It was really good.
What'd you put on
it? 2 seasonings, Holy Cow, which is a meat church. I'm only using 2 brands of seasonings now.
Yep.
Meat Church and Kinder.
Okay.
This was an all Meat Church operation.
My man.
Meat Church was Holy Cow and their garlic and herb seasoning, and it was outstanding. Okay. But Meat Church and Kinder are kind of the Kinder. If you're not familiar with the blend, the SPG salt, pepper, garlic blend from Kinder, there's no better seasoning blend on the planet that you can
literally everything.
Everything. It makes I use it on my biscuits and gravy.
Okay. Wow.
Like I use it in the gravy, and it's amazing.
Is this the same Kinder that sponsored the Texas Bowl?
Yep, that's them.
That's them.
You know what they also have that I found, Aaron? That I don't know if you've tried this or not. I think they're only at Walmart. So look at Walmart. They have Kinder French fries that you do in like the air fryer. Okay. And then they have a liquid seasoning packet that you toss the fries in, like a garlic and herb seasoning packet.
Oh.
They're restaurant quality. They're so freaking good.
Nice.
And you would throw that in the air fryer?
Yeah.
See, you're making it all work right now, Chad. You're making it all work. Happy Merry Christmas to you. Aaron, how are we?
Good Christmas.
How was it?
As you can see, I'm at my mom's house.
Yes, sir.
We are in Cincinnati because we took our 15 and 10-year-old boys to their first NFL game today. So we went and scored some really close seats. We're at like the 20-yard line, 6 rows up. and paid a really great price on those tickets as the season's over for most people, but got to actually see. It's not like preseason where you're just seeing some bullshit out there that they call football. So we got to actually see a team of good caliber. I mean, Jamar Chase had a good day. T. Higgins had a good day. Chase Brown had a great
Joey
day.
Burrow. Yep.
Joe Burrow had a good day. Joe Flacco made an appearance.
Yeah.
So
let's be honest.
It was
Everyone had a good day except for Maserati Mob. That's about it.
Yeah, well, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, a shellacking the Bengals put on the poor little Arizona Cardinals. So
was that?
Yeah, it was that. Christmas was good though.
Yeah, how was your Christmas, Brent?
Oh well, thank you. It was great. Surfing Santa's a smashing success. Phenomenal day. You just go all day. That's what that was. It's all day. And then we made pizzas. We'll build your own pizzas as a big family at the end of the Christmas Eve night. I made Skyline chili pizza. I did. Turned out pretty damn well.
You took inspiration from my girlfriend.
Yes, correct. That is exactly what I did.
Hot dogs on the pizza.
Hot dogs on, half of it with diced onions. Shouts, of course. Side of mustard, use if you please. Yeah, it was good. It was very good.
Well done.
Probably one of the best out there. Everyone else did a good job. One was like a cauliflower crust piece for all those health girls out there. It was still tasty though. But yeah, outside of that, oh yeah, Crypt Creeper on Christmas night. We had prime rib as well. So there you go. We share something in common. But yeah, I've definitely been eating way too much. And that's what you're supposed to do during the holidays, right? Took in, a lot of sports, played a lot of games, had a good ass time. Aaron, you didn't say yet. Christmas was well though, yeah? You Athens it up and then you got on over for the game today.
Yeah, we made it through.
Yeah, that's about all you got to ask for. Speaking of making it through, we're gonna make it through this show. Wanted to make sure that we, obviously there's been no game action since we had last had the BBP, but skipped over the BCJ pod because it fell on this crazy little Wednesday, Thursday for both of these big holidays back to back. So definitely wanted to spring a little life into the BCJ Bearcat livelihood. And
we're back. We're back.
We're back.
I'm not sure exactly what Wednesday is going to look like, but Dave and I will have a BCJ pod Wednesday.
Right.
Preview Navy, talk about the non-conference basketball season. Get you ready for everything on New Year's Eve. I would prefer not to do it at night, so maybe look for like a midday, late afternoon type BCJ pod. There for if you're traveling, if you're doing some driving over the weekend, if you're driving down to Memphis like we are, we'll be getting on the road Thursday morning pretty early to head down to Nashville, drop Kelsey off in Nashville, and then book it to Memphis, get some Gus's fried chicken.
Oh yeah.
And maybe hit up Beale Street Thursday night.
Ooh.
Game on Friday. Then we're going to do Nashville. We're going to see Kelly's, my late wife's sister, in Nashville on Saturday. Come back Sunday.
Boom. Sounds like a perfect weekend ahead. Aaron?
Last time I was on Beale Street, the Bearcats actually lost a tournament game in Memphis. And then I partied with some of the Bearcat alumni. I think Lenny Stokes was there.
You think Lenny Stokes?
Look, man, I'm pretty sure. Look, this was a long ass time ago.
Right.
Yeah. I think I was running around with Kevin Johnson and Troy Copain's dads that night on Beale Street.
Sounds about right.
Which game was that? In Memphis?
It was the AAC tournament.
Oh, AAC tournament game. Was that the buzzer beater one? UConn.
Yeah.
No. Not UConn.
Okay.
I don't remember. A long time ago.
They lost. It was close. I remember that. Like it wasn't like a blood or anything.
The AAC. Oh, how about that thing? That was an interesting thing.
It's also a bachelor party that night, so I was
Aaron was in his element, if you will.
rare form.
That's what I like to hear. That's what you're at your best. The tears come around 2 a.m. on those nights. Got a shoulder to cry on.
10.
Yeah, 10:30.
Right, but who's counting? I was giving him benefit of the doubt. I was
you don't
Eastern time. He was on Central time. You know, give him a little extra time there. But no, Chad, before you start doing all your driving, I highly suggest, and anyone else out there that's going to be traveling around, I highly suggest that you head over to Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Get your car tuned up before the new year, please. No better way to start off 2026 than with a tuned up car after an oil change at Danco Transmission and Auto Care. $10 off that. After some quick fixings, 10% off that. Mention Chad inside of the Cincy Light studio, getting ready to head down and do the Tennessee 2-time. Chad, interested to hear how far away is the Nashville trip over to Memphis? Is that a bit of a hike? Yeah.
So it's about an 8.5 hour total trip. My sister-in-law lives in an area called Dixon, Tennessee, which is like 40 minutes west of Nashville on the way to Memphis.
Yep.
So
not to be confused with the Mason-Dixon line.
Right. The Mason-Dixie line.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Insert any of these words here.
So it takes about, from Krista's house, it takes about 3.5 hours to get to Memphis. So it's not that bad.
That's not bad.
Kelsey wants to drive to Nashville.
Oh, sheesh.
She drove to Louisville last weekend.
Yeah.
And that was fine. So, we'll see how it goes.
The drive's not too bad. All those terrible.
Does she have to sit on telephone books for that?
So we've got a car that the seat automatically telephone books you. Okay. So she's driven other cars and she's like, I don't like this car. I can't elevate myself up the necessary 6-7 inches.
I can't see over the dashboard and reach the pedals.
You like that, Brent? You like that?
It is so weird. Like you really find out how often you say 6 and 7 together ever since that's become a phenomenon. It happens to me all the time. I'll just be talking and I'll be like, oh wait, I just said 6 and 7 together. But yeah. Hey yo. But no, I head over to Danco Transmission Auto Care. Chad, I was interested in that because I did a little fun facting during the break, thinking about how, because I've got buddies that live in Florida and they're like, Brent, come visit me. And it's like, yeah, where you live? And look it up. It's like 4 hours away. I'm like, geez, man.
It's like
Florida is just
7 hours away.
Mathis. Yeah. Oh yeah. Freaking massive. Florida is, Aaron, you missed it. Freaking massive. But anyway, so
like that big?
So big. Yeah. But Chad, yeah. Yep. Right around there. Just so big. If you go from Floribama, the bar, that's the infamous bar, all the way down to Key Largo in Florida, guess how that's an 11-hour trip and it's all throughout Florida. That's just insanity. But it would be a lot easier of a trip if you visit Danco Transmission Auto Care, and that is the very long segue into closing of the intro. Thank you guys. Last intro of 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. But here we are, guys. Final week of the year. A little bit later on in the pod, we're going to do a quick flashback, some of the highlights of the 2025. All the sports in Cincinnati Bearcats, see some of the highlights. We're going to deflect away from the lowlights and only focus on the positives because that's what we do here on the BVP. But before we do that, got to mention the week ahead. And Chad, as you've already mentioned, you and Dave will do a little bit more of a breakdown of the Navy game because it's obviously going to be a little bit closer to the BCJ pod time. And then a look at the wrapping up of the non-con after the Lipscomb game tomorrow night. But this is a pretty doggone big week. The chance for the basketball team to come back from a break, After obviously a tough 7-5 start, there's no hiding behind, away from that. Lipscomb, an opportunity to do against another bye team what you should do against a bye team, and at this point, simply win. Just win. Go out there and win. A lot of people are starting to throw out the whole Lipscomb. Oh, look out! They could probably beat Cincinnati this season. Blah blah blah. Just go out and handle.
We've been saying that for weeks.
We've been saying it for weeks, but go out and handle business. You look at it. See what Vanderbilt did. Obviously, Vanderbilt's a phenomenal team this year, but they won by 44 points. Do what Vanderbilt did. Try to do what Duke did. Oh, wait, Duke's a phenomenal team, but they ended up winning by 24 points. Outside of that, Mercer, UNC Asheville, and Belmont all also took down the Bisons of Lipscomb. So try and just pull out a win, and then, of course, mixing in with that AutoZone Liberty Bowl against the Navy is another game, home game against Houston to open up Big 12 play for basketball. And, of course, the infamous transfer portal firing up for the football side of things. So, Chad and Aaron, week ahead, got to think this is probably one of the more important weeks as far as it goes for if basketball is going to get back on track. They got to do it now. And if football wants to close the book on this season and then open up and get to work quickly for next year, this is the week that happens as well. Just thoughts heading into final week of 2025 and the beginning of 26 here.
Aaron?
Man, those dogs are going at it over there.
Just trying to maul each other 1 inch from my desk.
Just go at it.
Super fun. I don't know. I mean, for me, I guess with football, it's 2 seasons in a row now. You've had the same story written, only one with what you felt was a higher ceiling for the team. And you got to think that as much as it wears on us all as fans, it got to be even worse. Way worse for the players that have experienced both seasons, for the coaching staff who's experienced either season, especially those who experienced both seasons. It's maddening. It's rough. You have to figure out a way to get over the hump. I think that we probably all as fans have counted them out in this game as money line has swung tremendously, shifting completely from 6.5 to 6.5 over the line. I don't even know what it's currently. I know it last I saw it was 6.5, favoring Navy.
7.
If you really want to make a that's crazy to flip from 6.5 to 7 over the line. That all said, though, if out with a bang for the guys who aren't going to be here next, that's trying to figure this all out and trying to have a good talking point. Of look at our facilities, look at we're in this conference. Like, you need something to talk about your own program, and I think this would do just that because I think we're all counting them out, and that can't be a great feeling. So do something, make a difference. As for the basketball team, they got some shit to figure out, man. And this season has gone sideways awful quickly. You have to do it one game at a time. Why not start now? If you have any hope of salvaging this thing, yes, it will take a miracle. Nothing short of a miracle for Wes Miller to keep his job, in my opinion. That said, you've pretty much got to rattle off 14 of your next 19 games? 15 of your next 19 games?
Ooh, no. But
okay. You've got a lot.
If they win 12 or 13 games in the Big 12, they're in the NCAA tournament. Period. So
depends on who they're against, I guess. But
no, it doesn't. You have to get to that many wins. You're going to have to beat a couple really good teams. That's the math on it.
I mean, as of right now,
is it likely? No, but we don't have to say crazy shit. We're not on 3. We don't have to say crazy shit for clicks. If they win 15 games, they'd be like a 7 seed.
Yeah. Well,
if they go 14-4 in the Big 12, they'd be a top 2 or 3 team in the league.
Right. I mean, based just off KenPom numbers, there's 7 games that wouldn't qualify as like an A tier game. So if you're doubling that at 14, and you're adding 7,
I was also including Lipscomb.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's why I dropped it down one. You said 15. That means they'd have to win 14 Big 12 games, which means they'd finish like 2nd or 3rd in the Big 12. That ain't fucking happening. Like even in a high, like that ain't happening. So, but if they won that many games in the Big 12, they wouldn't even be close to the bubble. We don't. That's not gonna. It's silly to even talk about. But like if they win 11
fun
or
to
12,
think about, silly to talk about.
11 or 12 Big 12 games would get them into the tournament. But they've won 14 Big 12 games in 2 years combined.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to talk about what is even salvageable for this season. And again, I said it would take a miracle. It didn't even say it was even realistic. It would take a miracle.
I mean, maybe bring Victor Wembanyama, and it seems like
he's got eligibility, right?
He's got eligibility.
This is getting so stupid.
It's getting ridiculous.
College basketball is off the rails.
But that report that Scott everybody's talking about was a lie. It was false.
Right. Yes.
The first one, or the Baylor one, or the Bulls one?
The Bulls one. Like that, Shannon Terry had to issue an apology on that one.
Yeah.
Which
is funny because that guy scored points 2 months ago in the NBA. So
yeah.
But it is funny because someone told them to post that, and so the thought is I guess out there, which is.
I mean, people are going to see how far they can push it for sure. Why wouldn't you?
Right. Exactly. Agreed. But yeah, Aaron, Chad, kind of continuing with what you were saying though. Sorry to take us off path. We got to speak in realistic here. Obviously, this week, do coach speak, if you will, 1 week at a time when it comes to the basketball program. And this week it's Lipscomb, and then it's a home game against Houston, a team that you have not been able to beat at all during the Wes Miller tenure. And so would this be the random lucky, hey, you made as many shots as you possibly could, and look at that, you somehow pulled off a miracle and you took down Houston? Who knows? But seems like this would be the week where if you wanted to get something going, then you got to start immediately. And that would be tomorrow night. So I guess next question would be any idea on any changes that we might see tomorrow night, whether it be they tweet out the starting 5, whether Chad gets it first or Keegan gets it first, or it's up on the Jumbotron or down on the X.com app. Is that going to be where we see the first change in these whole lineup scenarios for this basketball team?
I'd be pretty surprised if Jizzle doesn't start.
Yeah. Like that's got to be the
played him 18 minutes in the second half against Clemson,
and yeah, pretty much a must win scenario. As
29 minutes in his second game back.
Yeah, I don't know how he doesn't. You're clearly significantly better in the 2 games that Jizzle James has played. You have been significantly better when Jizzle James is on the court.
Yep.
And you don't have time to mess around. Like you ain't got time to
you're on borrowed time.
We're gonna wait and see what happens. No, you better act fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's that for basketball. Yeah, it's gonna be some sort of a crazy effort. Aaron, I mean, yeah, I don't know. We're what?
That was just the funniest thing I think I've ever heard you say in a podcast. Like, well, that's that for basketball.
I mean, because we want to talk in a realistic tone where, the second half against Clemson, they did look great. Let's be honest. But they were hitting shots. That Day had that crazy run himself. Things were kind of going their way. They were able to step up defensively. We amped up the full court pressure, but I mean, we've just seen that in spurts throughout the year already, and it's resulted in a 7-5 start in the non-con and debilitating loss to Eastern Michigan. So I don't know. It's going to be a mountain to climb, but it could all start tomorrow night against Lipscomb, who, in all regards, is a pretty doggone good team. Team that's been to the NCAA tournament a handful of times in the last decade, and one that seemingly is always kind of hanging around as a mid-major that kind of is pretty decent to follow. But I think the main thing is going to be
they're usually a little better offensively. Like they usually are pretty crisp offensively. They shoot and make a lot of threes still, which is why they're always a dangerous upset team. But I mean, they're 166th in offensive efficiency.
Yeah.
So, they're not quite the team that they've been in the past for a little while.
Right.
The 25 and 24, they were in the top 100 offensively,
So we'll see, man.
Oh, wow. John Brady is on Samford's coaching staff. They used to be the head coach at LSU.
Really?
I did not know that.
Well, surprise, surprise. You learn something new every day, huh? But yeah.
It's his first job since 2016.
Jeez. Well.
Do you know there was a John Brady controversy with Bearcat Journal, Bearcat Layer back in the day?
No. Do you care to
do tell?
Expand?
It's not really my story. It's more Todd's story, but I'll give the basics. I believe it was centered around Bobo Morgan. Remember him?
Yeah.
5-star center that Mick was trying to recruit. And I guess Todd got a tip from somebody that who was the kid from LSU that went number 1 that wasn't supposed to, or was a surprise early in the draft. Freak athlete, came on strong in the NCAA tournament, got overdrafted.
Yes.
Didn't have a great career.
Tyrus
Thomas played for the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
I think
Bulls, Bobcats, a couple teams.
The Bulls were in Dallas, and LSU got Bobo Morgan back, in the locker room area to meet with Tyrus Thomas, which at the time was against NCAA rules. Todd reported it, and then John Brady, he called Todd directly. Todd Cunningham, John Brady from LSU, and called him a liar and whatever.
Well, I mean, he's not a liar, but those LSU guys, they seem to really just speak to their own drum.
They don't worry much about the rules.
Nah, the rules don't apply down there with them and their families. So, unless you no longer have the family there and you're currently looking for a job, so that's on the football side of things, though. So, yeah. Nice little aside. What made you think of John Brady? Where's he the coach at?
He's an assistant at Lipscomb.
Oh, at Lipscomb. Oh, wow. Jeez.
Yeah, I was looking up the Lipscomb Ken Palm stuff, and on coaching staff, he's listed as a coach. Or no, sorry. He coaches now. Lenny Acuff is the guy that used to be at Lipscomb. He's at Samford now. John Brady is on his staff at Samford. That's what it is.
Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. In a roundabout way, we got there. That's crazy. Well,
it took me a minute, but yeah.
There we go. Lenny Acuff. Yeah, with Bucky McMillan. Yep. Last year. All right. Well, that's talking John Brady here on the BBP on the Sunday night edition. Fantastic. Basketball. Yep. Just try and get 2 wins, or any way you possibly can. Obviously the one on Saturday would be unbelievable effort to pull that off, but crazier things have happened, I guess. Only an 8-point spread on that compared to, according to Ken Palm. So we'll see. As far as football side of things go, obviously the game is on Friday at 4:30 p.m. It takes on Navy. You've seen the unofficial official depth chart, I would say, right, Chad? I imagine they might release another one before. If not, then they'll just maybe say who's playing and who's not, because obviously there's a few names that were on that one that was sent out last week that probably you're going to be like, are we sure he's really going to play in the game? And kind of see how it is. But as far as football goes, you think what? Get a win and immediately hop in that trying to build the team for next year, because obviously it's a interesting time with January 2nd being a pretty key date.
Yeah, I mean the conference is going to look a lot different next year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it, Oklahoma State's already got 43 people that are anticipated to go into the portal, 33 for Iowa State, 24 for West Virginia, 22 for Kansas State, and that's before things open on the 2nd. So that's of the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 7 schools that have players that are anticipating to go in the portal. 4 or 5 of them are from the Big 12. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are from the Big 12. So this is a league that's going to look substantially different next year. UC's had a couple guys that they wanted to keep in the portal. Sorsby, obviously, Christian Harrison. I'm sure they would like to have hung on to Jaquan Sanks for as much time that they've put into his development.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's anybody else really that jumps out. Micah Coleman, sure, but if he's looking for more money than you think he's worth, and Kamani Burns is the only other one, maybe, and he got passed at the end of the season. So, they're in a decent spot to keep as much as they can. If you can have a strong portal, you've got a good offensive line. You should be good at running back. You have a couple wide receivers you trust. You got to get to work on that defense and hope you can put together a strong season next year.
Do you see any, and obviously the not full comparison to the whole Crown scenario last year and the portal side of things for basketball, but with the bowl game being on the 2nd, I mean, you look at the Big 12, pretty much every team plays this week, so it's not like it, everyone is kind of having the same disadvantage. Tuesday TCU plays USC, Wednesday Arizona State plays Duke, and Nebraska plays Utah. Thursday, obviously, college football playoff. Friday is SMU plays Arizona, and then of course you have that Friday with the Bearcats as well. Any disadvantage? Can't really be too many with having the game on the 2nd, because then you can obviously just immediately get to it right after that.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
If you're going to get in the portal in football, there's no advantage to. I mean, the portal's open 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, you have to let everybody know I'm going to be available.
Yep.
Like, you do not want to hold on to your announcement. From my perspective, what advantage are you gaining by holding on to your portal announcement other than setting yourself back?
Mm-hmm.
And, teams are diligently working to get visits lined up. Like, you're going to want to act as fast as possible. If for nothing else, and what Aaron and I have talked about a lot, you've got to get enrolled and start classes so you can be a part of the spring.
Yeah.
Any day that you wait, any day that you hesitate before you go into that portal, you become less. Like, teams aren't going to want a bunch of guys that they can't get in time because the process took too long to play out.
Right.
So, I just don't see any advantage. If you were going to go in like you're going to make that announcement as quick as you possibly can, I think.
Yeah, I kind of see it as writings on the wall for pretty much everyone that's going to be in. So, as far as roster shaping up for the game itself, and Chad, you and Dave will probably have more conversation about this, but it looks like they, for this game, probably only they got rid of that star position, and on the depth chart it's being listed as dog. You got Brian Sims playing the dog. It looks like Ruff. Obviously, it seems like it'll be a bit of a 3-4 look against the Navy offense. Anything as far as just the roster itself, build wise, because obviously Brady and Samaj in there at quarterback. The defensive backfield seems to be the one that's completely just flipped around. D line as well, but aside from that, seems like it'll be just a different look schematically against the triple option attack of Navy, but it'll be interesting to see.
They just sent out a release from the Liberty Bowl. It was the same two deep that Aaron and I went over on the nightcap last week.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing has changed really on that front. That's what they're expecting to roll with. I'm going to be on. I'll be surprised if we see Golday out there, but we also know Golday is just football player. Like, he could have made a shit ton more money last offseason and just wanted to play ball. Just wanted to be fairly compensated and go play ball. That's kind of who that kid is. He took the Shrine Bowl instead of the Senior Bowl. I guess just difference of belief and how that whatever the intricacies were, he felt he was better off. Like, he makes decisions in his own vacuum. He does not function like a lot of these guys. So would I be shocked if he's out there? No, I wouldn't be out there against a team that cut blocks and runs triple option. That would not be my thing.
Right.
But I wouldn't it wouldn't shock me if he's like, I'm a football player. These are my brothers. I'm going to play.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously stud. As far as these bowl games go, man, it's funny because you get some, like, there's been some fun ones, and you kind of just watch them and you're like, okay, what's kind of the meaning behind it? And then I saw that the Chuck Martin little interview circulating around, and it's kind of just further proof. Is like, you know what, if these guys aren't going to play, there's plenty of other players on the team that have practiced the whole season, that have just been waiting for their time and a chance to kind of step up and show what they've got. And who knows, maybe we see a legacy game out of old Lichty this upcoming Friday. That'd be something. Or Samaj shows. It'll be a fun time to just see numerous things. And as Aaron put it, boy, that line flipped. I haven't seen quite something like that either. Obviously the Sorsby news will change that, and Dante and whatnot. So that's where we're at on that. Should be more to come as far as just discussing and breaking down a really good 10-2 Navy team, and that obviously really good quarterback, really good defensive line. We've played them numerous times in that old AAC, and they're gonna show us what they've got now. So we'll see. A lot of 3 games to do something, and then the old portal opening up. So the week ahead is one to be locked in on. So let's go ahead and timestamp this. We'll take a quick look back down memory lane, and then hop in the mailbag and get on out of here.
This timestamp brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Quick Paper Supply. They're your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They service over 150 restaurants with weekly, low minimum next-day deliveries. They provide a wide range of food service products, from to-go containers, cups, custom-printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call my guy Nick, 513-470-2029, and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. Real quick, Gavin Grover, I fully expect to come back. Crypt Keeper. Yeah.
Oh. Boom, boom, boom. Well, guys, it has come that time of the year again. time of year where the calendar changes. We all get ready to fire in our exciting New Year's resolutions. I mean, I don't know. You guys have any New Year's resolutions lined up? We'll probably talk about it more in the next BBP, but
I'm not a resolution guy.
no. Yeah, no. I think you say that every year, and then you text me on the side. You're like, "Hey, this is my resolution.
I don't
hold me to it."
I don't.
I'm like, Chad, I got you. I'll remind you each week, and then
I don't.
The reminders slow down, and then I end up texting Aaron, and I'm like, Aaron, can you please remind Chad? And then Aaron said I never got that text, and then before you know it, we're here.
I'll take things that never happened for 600, Alex.
Okay, and I will too, and that'll be the Bearcats going to the college football playoff in this season and the NCAA tournament in that season. Those things didn't happen, but things that did happen back in 2025 throughout this past school year are going to be some things that we start to break down here. Guys, let's go around. You know, it was a year where obviously you don't have to dig too far to find the positives, but you do have to kind of look back pretty deep and think, hey, this one struck me in a happy way, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. So I texted you guys about 8 hours ago regarding this, so you've had plenty of time to think about it and mull over it, and Cincinnati Bengals game it up, and then think about it, and Chatty B it up, and then think about it. So let's go ahead and go down to Aaron. Aaron, I want to hear some of your favorite moments back in the 2025 year for Cincinnati Bearcat sports.
My favorite moment for Cincinnati in 2025 is probably just everything that encapsulated Bishop Ball. I think that it was probably the brightest spot for all of Cincinnati athletics, as it was not just the only team that made their respective tournament, and it was just it was captivating. It made you care about Cincinnati baseball in a way that it isn't easy to do. It hasn't been really done since back when who was it? Bumpus, was that his name?
Yeah, Todd Bumpus.
When he was here, it was just there were a lot of great storylines with this team, between a Bearcat who had been here for his whole career, and made noise all throughout. And Big 12, he could have left going into the Big 12 and gone somewhere else, but stayed true to who he was. You had injuries, you had good pitching, not enough pitching, but just a lot of great storylines through this team. They clearly cared about their coach, and I don't know that anything really else comes close to what Bishop Ball was able to do between football and basketball and women's basketball and any of the. I don't. I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea what happened with many of the Olympic sports, but in any of the major sports that we cover, that's easily the most exciting thing for me.
Yeah, Carrington Cross obviously winning Big 12 Player of the Year is
Right.
is something that whenever someone wins Conference Player of the Year, I mean, it hasn't happened much for the Bearcats in the Big 12. But maybe I'm venture out to say that might be the only one since we've entered. But obviously that was massive. Landon Viderick, them both being on the that marathon episode that we had was some cool stuff. They were playing off each other perfectly, just great personalities. Obviously, Jordan Bishop's probably one of my favorite guests to ever have on this podcast, and talking to him is always a delight. So, Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, whatever way you want it, that's the way you get it. But yeah, I definitely agree that baseball run was awesome. The Wake Forest win was awesome to watch. Just the electricity surrounding it, the path getting there, and everything that went into it, and it was fun. Definitely one of the highest highlights. Chad, pretty awesome baseball time.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the first real measure of success in the Big 12. So it was important at the end of year 2 to see one of the programs elevate and show that it can be done here, that they can develop their own unique, interesting style. They can sell it to a fan base and get people on board for something that wasn't exactly a high profile, revenue stream. And it's still not, but you got to start somewhere. And it feels like with Bishel, they're building something that is going to be sustainable and that you're going to have really good teams year after year, which if you're a fan of sports in this town, finding a team that's consistently good is not exactly easy. So,
yes.
Yeah. I will go with walking off the field after Cincinnati had defeated Baylor 41-20 to move to 7-1 with really, a game that they probably should have won against Nebraska as the only blemish against the record. 5-0 in the Big 12. They were playing an incredibly clean brand of football. They weren't turning it over. They weren't making mistakes. They were keeping defenses out of the end zone, even though, the yardage totals were pretty high. Nobody gives a shit about the Cincinnati Cyclones, Mark. Come on. Come on. Loser talk. The Cyclones, our third level hockey team. Nobody cares. Jeez. It's like the Northern Kentucky Rough Riders or whatever the football. Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares.
I didn't even know.
The Florence Y'alls.
Yeah. The Florence Y'alls made it to the International League semifinals. Nobody cares.
Didn't we almost
I will not show some respect for the Cyclones, G-off.
We almost got sponsored by the Y'alls, right?
Yeah. I tried to reach out on that. The River Monsters, whatever. $1 beer nights were iconic. Great. You didn't care about the Cyclones. You went for $1 Busch Lights or whatever crap swill that they sell at that place. Anyhow, that was in terms of like football and basketball, that was really the first, like, okay, they're raising the bar. They are on strike because nobody cares. PBR, my bad. It was that first taste of, okay, there is a path out of the basement, at least up into the middle. Now they screwed the pooch on the good vibes of that, but that did happen. They dominated Oklahoma State. They pulled away from Baylor late. They won that game, and you're looking at that 4-game stretch in November and going, these guys are playing really well, man. Like, they're not doing the things we had seen the past 2 years that were costing them games. That showed back up, unfortunately. They're playing good special teams. The offense is electric. Yeah, the defense, you'd want to be a little bit better, but hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as the old saying goes. So that for me was probably the pinnacle outside of baseball, but Aaron used that one first, so I don't get to take that one.
Low hanging fruit.
You're welcome.
But we can't use basketball because the non-conference was the only highlight of the last basketball season. And then they did really nothing of note in 2025 in terms of the BYU win at home, I guess.
I've got some quick hitters. Don't you guys worry. And we'll discuss them tiny bitly.
But being 7-1 and 5-0 and looking at that schedule and going, hey, if things break right, if these guys play well, they've got a chance to make it to Dallas. It didn't work out, but it was realistic. 5-0 in the conference in a 9-game schedule. Boy, you gotta finish better than 5-4.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, you do. You know what? Here's the thing, Chad. Let's expand even more on this start because for the football team this season, because probably one of the highlights of the year. You win 7 games in a row. When's the last time that this program won 7 games in a row, Aaron?
I'm going to guess the college football playoff season.
That is correct.
Nailed it.
Where they went completely undefeated until they played Alabama down in Jerry World. All of us were there. We all hung out. It was great. But the 7 games in a row led to national media picking up coverage of the Bearcats. You saw it led to discussions on College Game Day and a visit from College Game Day to Utah. You saw yet again Big Noon Kickoff coming to Cincinnati for the second time since the Big 12 tenure for the BYU game. You saw a lot of just juice around the program. You saw Nick Saban have a full segment breaking down the Cincinnati Bearcats offense led by quarterback Brendan
Sorley.
Maybe Brendan Sorley's still on the team, and it was just Brendan Sorsby that entered the transfer portal. I don't know. We got to check on that, though. You then saw the ability for a light at the end of the tunnel scenario where it was wow, we can do this. Ranked 17th in the country, the highest ranking, obviously, the only ranking of during the Scott Satterfield era. You had a couple great games and great moments during that. The Kansas game-winning drive. How about that one-handed catch by Noah Jennings to extend that drive and on a 4th down conversion? You mentioned, of course, the double truck stick that Tawi Walker had in the Iowa State game, taking down a ranked opponent at home. Just a lot of fun things going on in that little run that you mentioned, Chad. Got to be out there as one of the greatest moments of the 2025 year for Cincinnati Bearcat sports. We won't talk about what happened afterwards because everyone knows what did, but we will remember.
We don't have
that time. No, we don't have to. Definitely not right now. But that was definitely a highlight. I'm gonna throw some at you guys, and I want you to give me a pressure cooker feel of your thoughts on as far as how highly they rank and just maybe a comment to see what you feel like remembering that back in time. How about April 1st? The college basketball season is winding down. You've got kind of the Final Four set and games like that. But you turn on ESPN, and there it is. Shana Bayev and Dee Alexander both playing in the boys and girls McDonald's All-American games. Pretty cool moment.
Sure.
Yes. Pretty cool.
Hey, come on now. Trying to buy a first McDonald's All-American since Lance Stevenson. Just some excitement out there. The beginning thoughts of like, wow, look at him splash down those threes. Would love to see him do that in Fifth Third Arena.
We all knew that wasn't
Grace Secord at the shoe and see what he can do. Dee Alexander, let's see what she can do.
Yeah, hopefully now we're to that point where we'll get to see it now that she's healthy and back on the floor and knocks off the rust after a couple games and can start to cook.
Yep, that's right. April 21st, Mustafa Cham commits to Cincinnati. That was a moment where you your mind goes off. You're like, wait a minute. The basketball program's all in. They're willing to do the steps needed to secure high-level talent, willing to go that extra mile, pay the money, this, that, and the other for a high-level player that was hot on the market.
This is fucking depressing. Do we have to do this?
I mean, these are good moments.
No, they're not, because they didn't amount to anything.
Okay, February 8th, the 18-point home win against BYU. The offense took off in the second half. You had a lot of splash threes. Jizzle James was a dominant scorer. I mean, that was a good moment in 2025.
It was.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah.
If they would have won one or two more games in the regular season and gotten to 9 Big 12 wins, I think they probably could have played their way into the NCAA tournament. That was okay, maybe these guys are getting back on track. And that was actually kind of the game that got BYU right. They went on a run after that, and got really hot. But yeah, it was good, especially with the way that they got smoked the second half at BYU. It was good to see a bounce back.
One quick aside note, there was that little 5-game stretch where one man by the name of Josh Reed was the greatest player in the entire college basketball country. Aaron, that was one of your favorite moments.
Sure wasn't. Was never a Josh Reed guy.
You guys aren't quite having a lot of fun with this
Well,
experience.
that run made me have to eat crow a little bit on it. I mean,
yeah,
we all are, because the wheels fell off shortly thereafter.
That doesn't mean you don't give him credit when he's playing well.
I did give him flowers when he. Anyway, I just wasn't surprised when it all went to shit.
Okay. How about on so outside of like the fun holidays, like Halloween, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, there is one national holiday that I know you guys rank up there in your top 3, and that is February 25th, because that is my birthday, and you guys treat it like a national holiday. Bearcats took down Baylor at home by 2 on February 25th. That was a pretty fun one. That
was another positive sign that team was going in a decent, like starting to go in a decent direction. But then, like I said, then West Virginia and then the bad losses happened after that. Like they just couldn't sustain any momentum, and that was the frustrating part because you got like those wins were gonna carry weight when you got to the bubble. They just couldn't ever actually get to that position to play themselves in. So it makes it almost more frustrating that they were able to overcome the 2 4-game losing streaks and, start to get momentum in the right direction, and then just can't ever get out of their own way. Unfortunately, it's been kind of the story of the Wes Miller era. There's those flashes where it's like, all right, I think they're heading towards where we need them to be, and then they can't get over the hump.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the precursor to the Dan Skillings, Jalen Celestine trade. But yeah, it was a good win. It's a good win.
It was. How about on this one's really gonna exhilarate you guys. October 17th.
That's my birthday.
That's your birthday. And do you remember what happened on that national holiday?
Probably not. There's a football game.
No. Where were you at on your birthday?
I was in Michigan. That's right. I was in Michigan
earlier that day. Then you went, and Cincinnati beat the number 2 team in college basketball, the Michigan Wolverines, 100-98 in a thrilling exhibition game that does not count, and a lot of people probably don't remember. But boy, oh boy, that was an exciting game.
That was an exciting game. It absolutely was.
Sean Abaya, buy stock now. That was a poster dunk. Just, oh man. Good game. That was fun. The Dayton game was fun this year. A win. A couple of roars of applause from the outside. I do think that the storyline of Jizzle James making his return and looking serviceable to actually good to being a help to the team, I think that is a feel-good story that in 2025, especially with what happened on the outside and whatnot. So it's that'll be a story to continue to track as the season wears on and as his career continues as well. So cool storyline there. And I've got one final one, and I think that this might be Aaron's favorite of all time. On August 28th in 2025.
Oh, no.
The Bearcats played a football game and a very special fan was in attendance. That is right. One of the most popular people in the entire world, the entire planet, entire universe, Taylor Swift, attended a Cincinnati sporting event for the Bearcats, and we're cheering on the Bearcats next to her fiance, Travis Kelce. That right there encapsulates probably the greatest moment in 2025.
She didn't have it. She didn't have a CPAW on. Travis's one job, was to get her there with a CPAW on somewhere, and couldn't do it.
Mark,
that lowered the excitement of that moment for me, Brent.
Yeah, it was cool to see, but the game sucked.
The fact that that's the best moment of the year.
It's not. It's Bishop Ball. You nailed it on the first one. Full circle. It's Bishop Ball. It's the excitement for what is to come as baseball season is ahead of us.
Yes, Mark, we're dead serious. Come on, guys.
Hey, it's a year in review, and that was 2025, and 2026 will be better.
Well, we said that at this time last year, that 2024 was pretty depressing, and 2025 would be better, and they were both pretty depressing.
But you know what? We will find silver linings, and that is what we do. Bishop Ball. Pete Crawley is asking. Do we care to kind of elaborate on what Bishop Ball is? It's small ball plus is the way that I would say. Being aggressive on the base paths, getting on base being more important than just swinging for the fences on every pitch. Playing like little tricks, having your dugout be a softball cheering squad to kind of get underneath the skin of the opposing team. I mean, what?
But doing it with class.
Doing it with class, correct. I'd say that all kind of encapsulates Bishop Ball, right? How did Carrington Cross describe it? It was like playing with confidence and just going out there and remembering how fun it is to be playing and trying to win with your brothers on the team. And I think Bishop Ball is probably the coolest thing we got going for us right now.
Yeah, I think that's inarguable.
Yeah. So that'll be fun, because now we do get to turn the page to 2026 and what is in store there, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So anything else on this 2026 in review? And we're going to be optimistic. It's going to be a long close to. There's still all conference play left for basketball. If magic happens, it's got to happen quick. We've already mentioned that, and it could turn what was a rough start to the year around. And then, of course, football, chance to make magic work in the portal, and you got to fire it up and do it right away. So,
just have a hard time finding that if they turn it around in basketball following the Clemson game. Like, that was the moment. That was
if they were able
period in time where you could have added a high level neutral site, quad one, road win that, I think Clemson's going to hold up in the ACC. I don't think that's a good league again this year. I think they're going to win a bunch of games in that league. That one would have at least given you something on your team sheet if you could have played with more consistency in Big 12 play. Now, I like 11, like you have to get to minimum 11 and 7 in the Big 12.
And
to be seriously considered.
Right.
And I just don't see any way they get to 9 or 10, much less 11.
It's tough. You'd have to really get lightning in a bottle with this new, lineup and whatnot. So,
is there anybody still available from the NBA draft that hasn't actually logged a minute in the NBA?
UC does not have any spots. The roster is full.
They added Jizzle, and he's going to lead them to the land that is promised.
You can have
We
as
just
many
don't know which
walk-ons
one
as
is
you want.
promised.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, New Year, guys. Happy New Year. The broad outside look, hey, football team did accomplish their over-under before Halloween. They were bowl eligible before Halloween. Those are things to be happy about and to remember. Brendan Sorsby at one point was the primo, the top of the top in the sport at the quarterback position. He's
in the transfer portal.
Currently in the transfer portal, he is that cream of the crop. So let's be hopeful, man. 2026 could be the year that everything does break through. And boy, wouldn't that be awesome. Yeah, that was 2025, a year in review.
Yuck. All right, let's timestamp it. Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They provide mostly disposable restaurant supplies, to-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins. They've been open since 2009 and are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. All you got to do, call Nick, 513-470-2029, and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. And I believe that takes us directly to, gentlemen, the Gregory Hooden mailbag. Maybe you got a couple racks, couple fat stacks for Christmas. You want to get your ride right, and but no better way to do that than to go see Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. You can go to Beachmont Toyota and ask for Greg. You can hit up Greg on social media at Cincy Greg Hooden, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, if LinkedIn's your thing. You can find him pretty much anywhere, but he will find you a great deal on a new or used vehicle from Beachmont Toyota. That's all you got to do. Find Greg, and he will get you taken care of.
Boom.
Where is Greg?
All right.
Greg couldn't join us tonight.
Come on, Greg. Where are we at?
Maybe he's busy on Sundays. Mondays could be his.
Greg's, but he's been in on Sundays before when we've done Sunday shows. My Sundays or my BBP is better when Greg pops in and says, "That's me." He gets genuine joy out of seeing his face on the screen. I love that. I love the energy, the enthusiasm.
That's the vibe needed. Absolutely.
It's the opposite of Aaron's normal vibe.
That's fine. All right, let's get to the mailbag. There's not much in here, and we'll get out of here and go about the rest of what's left of your weekend. We'll start in the football portion as we always do. Do you think the staff has a portal quarterback target identified and ready to sign shortly after the portal officially opens, or do you think there will be multiple visits and a longer process to get someone signed?
I'm not sure yet. I'm sure they'd like to have a situation like they had the last portal, where you've got a guy that the portal opens, you get him in, you get that deal done, and there was some high stress moments as other teams tried to get involved late, namely Lincoln Riley and USC. Fortunately, Brendan Sorsby had already arrived in Cincinnati and wasn't taking calls on that matter. But I don't know. Like with Jack Griffith leaving and that kind of being his baby, the portal, I don't know if it's feasible to have one just locked up and ready to go when the portal opens. So we're going to have to see.
Hurry up and wait. All right. The last question in the football portion of the mailbag. What is one or two biggest position groups of need to be filled non-quarterback in the portal?
Defensive back, both spots.
Yeah.
I think probably D-line as well.
Defensive line is right up there.
Yeah.
And then obviously at wide receivers will need to be. They've got seemingly a couple that would need to step up now that their name is going to be called more, but probably need a playmaker or two more out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Then let's see here. I offensive line, hell of a start to what you got now. But I'd say defensive line, defensive back.
I'm with you. I think that's where you start. That has to be your focus. Your defense was, I won't say terrible, but it wasn't great. It wasn't.
Right.
I don't even know
the problem is it didn't get better as the season wore
like
on.
Last year.
Worse. Yeah.
Last year we saw it improve over the course of the season, and it got. I feel like it was like exponentially better by the end of the season. This year we did not see that same marked improvement as the season progressed.
Yeah, I agree. Before we move on from the football mailbag, I did want to say, just we forgot to mention, David Rowe hired as cornerbacks coach for the football team. Obviously, Eddie Hicks
not official, but expected to be hired.
Yeah. Just thoughts on that. Obviously, he played at Rutgers, played against the Bearcats, I saw, and then also coached at Houston for a little bit and coached against the Bearcats. So
his DBs were pretty good at Houston.
Mm-hmm. So,
does he train them to turn around when the ball is in the air?
I don't fucking know, Aaron.
That's just really where I'd like to see some improvement.
Who the hell knows, Aaron?
All right, we will move on. That's the end of the football portion of the mailbag. We'll move on to the basketball portion. Over under 1.5 on by game losses.
So pretty much,
they lose? Do they beat Lipscomb? Just ask the damn question as it's to
clever
be asked,
Killer V.
I think they win.
Yeah.
If you don't win, I don't even. I don't know what the proper response is from the fans going forward the rest of the season, from the athletic department going forward the rest of the season.
Yeah, not pretty.
It would not be good. I mean, you see what? Ken Palm's got it as a 10-point win, 77-67. Let's see. Bartorvik has the same thing, 77-67. Wow. 82%. It's one of those games where it's like, okay, we've already mentioned it like 6 times. It's like, okay, if you want to make the flip of the script scenario and get this thing going the right way, you immediately have to win and win. I'm going to say win pretty decidedly, because like we said, Lipscomb's good. They definitely are. I mean, but they aren't like great. There should be a team that you should be able to handle at home with over a week to prepare. So just take care of business. That's it.
If you lose, nobody wins.
Yeah.
If you lose and you got Houston coming into town on Saturday, no matter what, I think the crowd will be good for the Houston game. But boy, if you lose to Lipscomb and Houston puts together like a 10-0 run or something, I would not want to be inside of that arena at that moment.
No.
All right, Andy, last question.
I think they win.
They have to.
I'm not confident. I'm not wildly confident that they win, but they better win. How's that? They better win.
If they don't win, what the fuck are we doing? Last question in the basketball portion of the mailbag. Who would be your choices in a new coach? Top candidate?
Have at it, gentlemen.
As for now, I am focused on this team and this coach and this coaching staff. I will address
one game at a time.
I'll address that question when the moment arises.
We're not. Here's what we're not going to do. We answered this question last week extensively. We're not going to answer this question every fucking week. It doesn't change. Like the names aren't going to, like, there's not going to be some magical, like, oh no, like this guy won an unexpected game in the MEAC we're moving him up the rankings. No, like the names are the names. They're out there. Everybody's been talking about them. I'm not going over this every week.
Phil Jackson and Coach K are definitely some new names to add to that board, though, Mark.
Is Phil Jackson still alive?
Sure. Look, I don't know if he can walk at this point. I have no idea. Real talk. That is the basketball portion of the mailbag. We have one in the baseball portion of the mailbag. Let's go. What do you realistically put as the win total for the squad for this upcoming season? With as many additions and subtractions as this team has had, I don't know that you can realistically give a win total because you don't have a Carrington. You lost several guys to the MLB. You've made some additions to be excited about, particularly on that pitching staff, as it wasn't deep enough last season. But I just don't know that you can realistically put a number on it, without knowing what the rest of the Big 12 has done, because the portal is bananas, particularly in baseball. You think football and basketball are crazy. Baseball is 100 times worse as far as guys moving around and all of that. But
I think the question will be, Aaron, they've got a really promising freshman class that they believe in.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
How quickly do those guys integrate?
It's a whole different level going from high school to college. Huge jump.
Yeah. So, right in that like 35 win range. I think they were just over 30 last year. They were 16-14 in the Big 12. You'd like to see that Big 12 number get to more like 20-10, 19-11, somewhere in there.
Agreed.
16-14 was good enough for third place in the Big 12 last year because it's a balanced league. Yeah. But somewhere, just continue to show improvement. You don't have vid, which is
right.
It hurts, but you've got a lot of pitching. You've got some holdovers that you're really excited on in the position group, and you've got some freshmen you think can add some juice. Keep improving. Keep stacking. This year's better than the previous one, even if that's going to be difficult because you don't have the Big 12 Player of the Year in the middle of the lineup now.
Yeah, there were some guys making some noise in some of the summer leagues too. Again, there's a lot of guys that could take a big step forward. So sorry, Brent, I know I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I mean, obviously the main names, Nate Taylor, back at pitcher, who was in the running for Big 12 Pitcher of the Year and probably going to be able to try and become one of the best in the country this year. And then, of course, I love the two freshmen last year, Quentin Coates at first base, and then outfielder Derek Pitts. Both of them just had crazy moments. Derek Pitts, and I think both of them homered against Wake Forest in that first round NCAA tournament game.
Quentin Coates is one of those guys I was talking about having a really good summer league and looking to build. He was a freshman last year, right?
Yeah. Him and Pitts, both freshmen. Yeah.
So that's a lot you can build on to go from what you learned your freshman year, what you learned in that summer league, and how much can you build on that.
Yeah. Well, and then you have a star at catcher in Jack Natilli. So,
right. Another guy who had great summer league.
You've got some foundation pieces.
Yeah. It'll be fun, man. Crystal ball. It does not flip over. It just restarts. It just recharges. It just continues, I guess. We just say continues. I love that.
All right, and that ends the baseball portion of the mailbag. And our last question in the mailbag comes from the Banks. What was that one Christmas present you were psyched to get as a kid?
I got a bike one year that, man, I probably put 20,000 miles on that. I don't think that today's youth understand how much we rode our bikes.
I agree. That was one of my two.
Like just everywhere. Like it didn't matter. Like we were We were actually driving around today, and we drove past. There was a girl that went to a different school. That it was probably 3 miles from my house. We were at her house like all summer one year, mainly because her and her friends were hanging out in the backyard in bikinis. But
Okay.
but yeah, like 3 miles each way, like, and probably many other stops that day. Like we probably put 10, 15, 20 miles a day on our bikes. That bike before you got your license was, it was crucial.
Yep.
It was crucial.
I agree on the bike thing. I had a Huffy. All my friends had awesome bikes. They had like mongooses and Schwinn's. I just had this piece of shit Huffy, and it
Yeah, I
was
think
a
I had a
tank.
piece of shit Huffy too, and it also was a tank, man.
You could do whatever you wanted to this Huffy, and all my friends, again, with awesome bikes, they break the brakes off and have issues with different things, that frames and rims and all that. I had no issues with my Huffy. The spokes never broke. Like nothing ever went bad on that Huffy. It was amazing. That and my Nintendo. When I was in, I don't know, kindergarten, first grade.
I got a Tandy 1000, I think, like one of the first ever home computers. I got one of those one year for Christmas too, when I was pretty young. And I remember, playing like the very early like baseball video games on the computer.
Oh yeah.
That was hot shit back then. I don't know I don't think Al Gore had invented the internet yet at that point in time.
That first Nintendo with Mario and Zelda and Tetris, Duck Hunt.
Yep.
My friend Gabe got a Nintendo before me, so I was at Gabe's house all day, every day.
It was funny because in hindsight, I had to ask myself, did my parents get that for me or for them? Because I would find them at night playing this thing. But it just funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say Santa knew what he was doing because he would always he would always give like a DVD that obviously you'll be watching later on. He'd give some CDs that, hey, why don't you throw in those CDs Santa gave you to listen?
I don't want to listen to Michael Bolton.
Video games.
The girlfriend got me the air fryer and the knives, and she's over here using the air fryer and the knives this weekend.
Exactly. And just very, very intelligent.
The more you know.
The more you damn know. Yeah, but I mean, video games, obviously, boy, oh boy, you open that, you're like, yep, I'm gonna be playing this sucker for a long time. I always got something awesome Cincinnati, whether it be a jersey, a hoodie, jacket. Just 1 year, I got like jersey, shorts combo, headband, arm sleeve. I just thought I was the man.
I want to address this real quick. Mark, it's not about walking uphill to school both ways in the snow. I didn't walk in the snow. You crazy? Come on. It's about, we took our like whatever opportunities we had at freedom when we were those ages, and we maximized them. You do not see kids out riding bikes anymore. Like, when's the last time you rode past somebody's house and saw like 4 bikes in the front yard?
Well,
because the kids were in the backyard playing wiffle ball.
The kids these days have these like electric bike gangs where they have their electric scooters and their electric bikes and they ride around. It's crazy.
Dude, I go on like my walks in Florida, and like I have headphones in listening to the BCJ pod and George in the Jungle, obviously. And it'll be like I won't hear the person behind me like ring their bell or anything, and that thing will zoom by me going like 60 miles per hour. It feels like, obviously it's not going that fast, but it's
40,
like
35.
Like, how is this thing allowed on the sidewalk? Like if I would have just randomly did like a quick like juke move over one way, I would have got just smoked over again. It's scary. Very scary.
Look, man, that I'm telling you, and Aaron can like that, and Brent, were you might have been a little like, were bikes still a huge thing when you were little?
Yeah. I mean, they like, we would ride our bikes around, but like it's not like you would like hit up the neighbors and be like, "Yo, let's go meet out there and bike." It was more just like,
no, it was like we're going to this girl's house, or we're going to play some football at the place down the 5-minute ride away or whatever.
right.
Like we were always out on our bikes,
Yeah.
always out on our
Yeah.
bikes.
It has made an interesting turn to the other side, but I feel like it's kind of making a return. I don't know
With the electric bikes, yeah.
Yeah, because I see a lot more out and about these days, but outside of that,
different.
it is different, man. It's nuts. And the scooters, man. Gosh, well,
Yeah.
that was another big gift was Razor scooters when those were the big hit back in the day. Oh gosh, that I fell pretty hard, and I still have a rock in my knee from the fall today. From when
I took a spill. We were going down a hill, straight down, and back tire like skidded out, I think. And I remember the strawberry on my thigh was like that. And my best friend, we were going to baseball practice. So had the baseball bag with the bat on the back, and I wiped out, and he's like, we're gonna be late for practice. Get your ass up. I walked it the rest of the I was hurt.
Yep. Heard that.
Hurt. Ain't no time for that. Rub some dirt on it. Get back out there.
Times are changing.
Kids these days can't pedal themselves. Lazy asses.
Golly. Well,
I was laughing at Jared not being allowed to have a Razor scooter because Channel 9's weatherman at the time broke his leg on that one.
Sorry, Jared. That's tough. Real quick, and what's your plans for
not real quick.
Anything fun?
That's
no,
the
I
mailbag.
got to get up in the morning and drive to Memphis.
Okay.
Walking in Memphis.
I've got radio 3 to 6 on New Year's Eve. Probably just come home, hang out with the girls, watch some TV, do a BCJ pod. Oh, great! Damn it, Aaron.
Oh,
I can't do a pod.
That's not good. Yeah,
I got radio.
Bad timing.
Can you simulcast?
Just take my laptop, simulcast the 3-hour radio show.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Dave is your guest the whole time.
Let's bring Dave Simone in from Bearcat Journal. Dave, welcome into the BCJ podcast presented by the Holy Grail. And
who are you filling in for though? You're not filling in for Lance, right? You're filling in
Mo.
So you can get away with that on 1530. You wouldn't be able to get away with that on 700.
I can't.
I don't know if you can trust Dave to not go scorched earth, but
I believe in you guys. I think it'll be great. It's going to work out tremendously. And that's about it.
Tremendously.
There you go. But hey, you know what? It's a big week ahead. We talked about it. The big year in review behind. We'll leave it back there. But excitement abounds, man. Huge game tomorrow. Get back from the break and started out with a win. How about that? Lipscomb coming into town, Third Arena, the Shoemaker Center. Gonna be a win. Let's just speak it into existence. Then Houston comes to town, and in between that, you got a football game, a little bowl game called the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Navy 10-2, the midshipmen, our old friends from the AAC. Take them down. Chad will be there. Hopefully, everyone else will. So, shouts to Cincy Light. Shouts to Quick Paper Supply. Shouts to Danco Transmission Nauticare, and shouts to Greg Hood. How about that? Shouts to Ryan Royer. He was at Alec Pierce's football game earlier today and Sauce Gardner's football game. How about that? Some Bearcats in the NFL. Gotta love that. But aside from that, for the guys, for the crew, for the squad, for Aaron Smith and for Chad Brendel, I am Brent Young. Yet again, another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.